If you feel like someone is jealous of you but you don't know, then this video is for you. I'm going to talk about different signs that you can identify to know if someone around you is jealous or envious of you. And I'm also going to explain the different levels of jealousy, envy, evil eye, whatever words you have for it. These are the different levels, okay? When you're able to spot the jealous people around you and you know what level of jealousy they have, then you're able to protect yourself, protect your energy, and alchemize or transmute any of the negative energy that they may be trying to send you, or maybe they're trying to sabotage you. Don't worry, this is not something that you need to be scared of. When people have negative intentions towards others, they won't win. They won't have any real power over you unless you give them the power. So the first step is knowing the signs, knowing the levels of jealousy, which is what we're going to go over in this video. So by the end of this video, you should be able to clearly see who is jealous, who is envious, and you should be able to know how to protect yourself from these kinds of people. This is actually one of the parts to a bigger series where I've talked about how to deal with jealousy, how to know if you are jealous, how to transmute that kind of energy. So if you're interested in that, subscribe, go check those other videos out, because this is an ongoing conversation. When you're dealing with this kind of behavior, there's different layers to it. There's never a point where you're just gonna be like, okay, I have all the information, everything is fine. Like, as you grow and progress, so do the other people. As you figure out how to deal with certain things, they're going to find different ways to try to sabotage you or manipulate you, or even just to have access to you, right? They have the same tools that we do. So it's important that you stay consistently learning and consistently aware as to what is going on around you. Okay, let's get right into it. So the first thing I'm going to talk about is the 4 levels of jealousy. Now, this is just something that I have created based off of my experience, based off of the many messages that I get from you guys, based off of the crazy situations that have happened to my clients in the past, or to my friends and family even. So obviously use your own judgment when you're hearing these and try to apply your own meaning and figure out how you are going to identify these things. The first level of jealousy is mild jealousy. This is your everyday type of jealousy. For example, you have probably felt this before. Think about it like you see someone on the street and they have clothes that you like, or they have accessories that you like, or you meet someone that has a job that you want, or has a certain relationship that they have, or whatever like thing that you would want for yourself, you see in someone else, and you get that feeling of jealousy. This is very mild. It doesn't prevent you from being a good person. So if you feel level 1 jealousy, or if you're receiving level 1 jealousy, you're not envious of the other person. They just have something that you like, but you can still be happy for them. So your friends can have this kind of jealousy for you for something that you have or something that you accomplish, but they can still be your friend. They can still show up for you. They can still support you. They can still be happy for you. Their feelings of jealousy don't affect your relationship. Okay, so this is pretty harmless. Usually this is where most of us feel jealous ourselves and we see people around us, but this is really easy to work with. You just have to remember that when you feel jealous of someone, it's just your way of processing a new desire. So the point of the whole thing is that you have a new desire. There's something that you want. So when you see someone else having it, you're going to be able to instead of feeling jealous, you're going to feel motivated. So this is processed through inner work and working on yourself, but it'll get to a point where things that used to make you feel jealous, now they make you feel inspired. Now they make you feel motivated. Now they make you curious. Now they open up your mind. Instead of automatically going to the lower vibration, you shift into a higher vibration. So level 1 jealousy is the easiest to transmute. It's the easiest to work with. And if you're the one receiving it, be mindful that the person who's feeling this way, they don't want to hurt you. They just feel like you have something that they want. So maybe if they ask you for help, give them advice, share your wisdom, share how you were able to accomplish these things, give them reassurance that they can also accomplish these things, so you can also help them feel motivated instead of feeling more jealous and low vibe. Like, don't rub things in people's faces. If you know that you have something that they really want, don't constantly talk about it and try to throw it in their face about what you have. It's not to say that you can't talk about it. They're still going to be able to celebrate you, but help them turn that desire into motivation. Don't push them further into the jealous route, because maybe you'll make their jealousy get stronger. So when you move on to level 2 jealousy, that's when things start to get a little bit tricky. So this is still pretty mild. I would say it's more like moderate jealousy. This is where someone is jealous of what you have, and they are projecting their negative energy onto you. So they cannot be happy for you. They're not able to truly feel happy for you. The easiest way to identify is if someone is feeling jealous of you in this way is through their micro expressions. So you'll be able to see that if you tell them something bad, they might smirk a little bit, or you might see them fighting their face to smile. They're trying not to show their happiness, or they just exert weird micro expressions, and you can kind of tell it doesn't match with what they're saying or what they're that they're feeling, right? So if you're feeling really happy about something and then all of a sudden they're in a bad mood, we're gonna get into the specific signs later in this video, but level 2 jealousy will literally be your success makes them sick. The most common example I have seen personally is if something is celebrating you, let's say it's your birthday or some sort of celebration party, the person gets really sick, or they just can't go, or they cancel last minute, or something happens, there's some crazy situation where they feel sick, or they cause a scene at the party. They just literally, you having a success and you being celebrated makes them sick, literally sick. This is where you start to move on to level 3 jealousy, where it's a little bit more action based. So this person not only is projecting their negative energy onto you, but they're also going out of their way to try to sabotage you, to try to mess up your life. So if you saw the first original video I made on this, talking about the dark truths behind pretty privilege and how to protect yourself from the evil eye, then the story I shared in that video from my friend and that betrayal, that would be level 3 jealousy. She was infiltrating my life, trying to be close with me and copy what I was wearing, and she felt jealous of the relationship that I had, so she infiltrated my relationship and then, you already know what happens. So that's literally level 3 jealousy, because it's not just that she feels jealous and she's like copying me and doing little stuff to, you know, project her energy onto me, like gossiping and stuff, but now she's like acting. She's going out of her way to like try to steal my boyfriend and like get physically intimate with someone that I'm in a committed relationship with. So this is where I see a lot of the comments of people saying like, you know, my family member, my sister, like family members having that access to you and being able to like go out of their way to make your life more difficult and hurt your feelings. It feels like a very active jealousy. So level 2 jealousy is more of like a passive jealousy. They're not going to go out of their way to like do anything to you, but they don't like you. And if given the chance, they'll talk badly about you if they don't think, you know, it's going to do anything too bad. But level 3 jealousy is more active. Like they're like, okay, I'm ready. Like how can we, you know, how can we mess her life up? Because she's getting way too high, way too elevated, and that's making me insecure. So I need to find a way to like bring her down. Let's go. Okay. That's sort of the mentality there. It's a little bit more malicious. And then if it starts to get very serious, very severe, and more dangerous, that's where you move on to level 4 jealousy. This is like obsessed with you, like crazy psycho stalker, would physically hurt you, would physically stalk you, would physically intimidate you, or, you know, be willing to like break laws to hurt you. So that is, I see that a lot with like toxic couples, when couples are jealous of each other, or there's like jealousy with a third person or a fourth person. Like things can get very violent, and this is where people could get hurt. So if you are on like level 2 or level 3 jealousy, you know, you're receiving that from someone, make sure that you do something about it, that you either help this person like go down a level, like move someone from level 2 down to level 1, you know, help motivate them a little bit. Like obviously there's specific advice for how you can like help the other person become less jealous and less threatened by you, but at the same time you can only do so much. You do have to set boundaries, you do have to protect yourself first, and make sure that you're in a safe space before you try to help someone else, because you don't want to just ignore these things, ignore the signs that I'm going to give you in just a minute, and then it moves up, and this person becomes more envious, more jealous. And I don't want you to get hurt. I don't want you to be in a situation where, you know, you have to like call the authorities, or you have to like run away. Like don't allow yourself to stoop to that position. You deserve so much more. You deserve to be with someone that cares about you. You deserve to be safe. You are safe. You are entitled to safety. Those are one of the few things that we as humans are entitled to, no matter what happens, no matter what other people experience or what other people may say. We are entitled to safety. We are entitled to feel safe in our home, even though I know a lot of us maybe haven't felt safe at some point, whether in their home, whether in their workplace, or with their partner. We've been there, right? Many people have been there. And even if you haven't, you probably know someone who has, and you've probably seen how that affects people. So don't just play around with this. Like I know I tell you guys like, oh, it's not that serious. Like it can only affect you if you let it affect you. Yes, that's true, but also it's not a game to play either. You can transmute all this energy and you can make it work for you, but don't ever put yourself in a position where you think you could get hurt, or you think you could, something bad could happen. Like make sure that you're protecting yourself first. And if you use any of the alchemy tools that I've provided to you in the past, specifically in the the alchemizing evil eye video. I think that was like the second video I made on this topic. Yeah, like there's some advanced level tips in that video on how to alchemize energy. And if you're in a situation where the other person is potentially dangerous, like you probably don't want to use some of those tips. Like you only want to use it when you are safe, when you feel like you're in a place where you can use them, okay? So I know I had some people in the comments saying like, oh, I don't want to do that. Like, I don't want to trigger them even more. And I'm like, yes, I agree. Like, if you feel unsafe, don't do any of these things. Only do them if you feel safe, if you feel like you can. Okay, now for the fun part. Let's talk about some clear signs that will show you if someone is jealous of you. Now remember, there's different levels of jealousy. We just talked about them. So not all of these signs are like the worst red flag, but you definitely want to keep an eye out on other people's behaviors. And of course, if you are doing any of these things, then this is your chance to reflect a little bit and see how you can not feel so jealous and not act in this way where you're projecting out negative energy when you don't need to. Because remember, if you're jealous of someone, that's just your mind showing you that you have a desire. The way you choose to react to it is your choice. Do you choose to feel jealous and low vibe, or do you choose to feel inspired and motivated to see how you can create a version of that for yourself? Okay, I have my notes here. I have quite a few, so hang on. I'm gonna try to not make this video too long. I know it's already quite long. But the first one, we sort of already talked about it, micro expressions. If you see someone who like has negative micro expressions or is looking at you in a weird way, or like their body language is like really closed off to you, those could be signs that someone doesn't like you. And if they don't like you and they're trying to be your friend, then maybe it's because they're jealous of you. So the second sign would be if they're overly interested in your failures or setbacks. Like if they seem to be wanting to remind you constantly of the bad things that happen. So like constantly saying like, oh, like, do you think he's doing this? Or do you think they think this about you? Or do you think they're talking bad about you? Like constantly just trying to egg you on and trigger you into feeling some type of way, into feeling insecure, or remembering something bad that happened in the past. Like they're trying to keep you in a place where you feel bad about yourself by constantly bringing up your failures, okay? The third sign is that they withdraw themselves when something good happens to you. So I talked about this a little bit already, but if it's like your birthday party or a special event, they just can't show up. Like they can't make it, they get sick, or they show up and they cause a scene, or this has happened to me. Like they'll show up and then they'll come and have like a bad attitude about it, complain about everything happening, complain about the food, and then get really drunk and act crazy and then like throw up in my car or something. Not fun. Definitely not fun if you have had this happen to you. But like whatever event you have, whatever situation you have where you are the center of attention or you are having a good time, they're gonna get sick. Like they're gonna sabotage you in some way. Sometimes it's not intentional, like it's just an automatic reaction for them, but you still want to be aware of patterns. Like obviously if your friend gets sick one time, that doesn't mean that this is happening. That doesn't mean that they're jealous of you and trying to sabotage you. Like we're all human beings. We all get sick once in a while. We all, you know, have our moments, but you want to look at the patterns. You want to look at what people consistently do. Okay. So the next sign is that they're constantly gossiping about you. They're always talking about you. Like it seems like they're always trying to get so much details about you, and maybe they try to share stuff about them in order to get you to share stuff about you, and then you find out that they told someone else, or like you hear the information from a different person and you know that the other person told them because they're friends with them or something. Like, it's just weird situations where it seems like you're putting yourself in a vulnerable position and sharing things, and they're taking that information and gossiping or sharing it or using it against you in some way, like telling people that shouldn't know about it, or bringing it up in public, like in group settings, making fun of you, sort of like putting you on the spot, uncomfortable positions. Like, these people, jealous people, like level 2 and up, they love to put you in uncomfortable positions. If you're feeling uncomfortable, if you're in a state of fight or flight, they are thriving, they are getting their best case scenario. So you have to look out for people that constantly make you feel like you're in fight or flight, like you're triggered, like something's going wrong, like you don't feel mentally at peace with this person. The next sign is competing with you. They literally cannot let you have anything. Like, if you sign up for a competition, they're gonna sign up too. If you start doing this hobby, they're gonna try to compete with you in this hobby. Like, if you start doing yoga and you're like, oh look, I found out how to do a handstand, they're like, oh, I could do a handstand too, watch, I'm gonna go to yoga. Like, they're always trying to compete with you, they're always trying to one up you. They can't just say, oh my god, that's so cool, good for you. Like, they have to sort of make themselves feel like they are above you. This is so common with friends that don't really like you. They just want you in their life because they think that you're all that. Like, they have some perception of you for whatever reason. They're jealous of you. They don't have that confidence in themselves. And so by keeping you around and then constantly making themselves feel better than you, that helps keep them in a confident state. But these are the same kinds of people that probably won't invite you to their events, they won't invite you to their group gatherings, they won't invite you to parties. They won't really want to spend like a lot of time with you. They just keep you around sort of to constantly remind themselves, like whenever they need an ego boost, they're like, oh, let me hit her up and let me like, you know, one up her and everything, give myself an ego boost, and then I can go back to my normal life. So they're basically using you to recharge their energy, and that's not how you want your interactions to be, because you're gonna feel drained. You're going to feel drained when you're with these people. You're gonna go home and have to sleep for like 3 days because they literally drained your energy. It's real, like it is real. Now, obviously in the last couple videos, I gave you some tips on how you can flip the tables on them and drain their energy instead of them draining you. You can, you know, stop them and take their energy instead. But you don't have to do that. You can just cut these people off. You can just make space, like get them out of your space, get them out of your field, cut contact, and they won't have access to you. They won't have power over you. They won't be able to drain your energy anymore unless you respond to their texts, you respond to their phone calls, you see them in real life. That's the only way. Okay, the next sign is passive aggressive behavior. Like, they give a lot of backhanded compliments, or they'll criticize you and disguise it as a joke, especially in front of other people. So they'll like bring up embarrassing situations for you and try to like laugh about it as if it's a joke, like make it seem like they're trying to be funny and entertaining and they just think it's funny, but it's like putting you in a bad light. It's making you look bad. It's making you remember about something you didn't want to talk about. Maybe it's inappropriate for this situation and you don't feel like it's right. Like, it's all to throw you off of your game, because they're gonna bring something up that embarrasses you, it puts you in like a negative mindset. They're gonna play it off like they're so cool, like it's just a joke, it's just fun and games. Why are you so sensitive? Oh, I didn't mean it like that, it was just a joke. And then it makes you seem like the one that's going crazy, or the one, you know, that's like unstable, when really the other person did this on purpose to catch you off guard and then make you look bad in front of the people that you're with. So that's definitely a really common one, and I did see a lot of stories about that in the comments. So yes, that is absolutely someone jealous of you and trying to sabotage you. So I would distance yourself or set boundaries. Like if someone says something and tries to joke around about something that makes you uncomfortable, don't laugh. Don't get upset about yourself. Like, have a firm face and say, why would you say that? That's really not appropriate. We should probably change the subject. And then move on. Like, it's almost like when you have someone throwing a tantrum. Like, think about it like you are in a preschool or something, or you're dealing with kids. Like, when they're having a tantrum, you don't want to also have a tantrum. You don't want to like come at them with the same energy that they're coming at you, because it's gonna be chaos, right? You want to stay firm and calm and calmly discipline the child, calmly redirect their behavior without taking it personally, because it's not personally. They're a child. Their brains aren't fully developed. They haven't learned all of the things that they need to learn yet. They're still experimenting with life, you know. They have a lower level of consciousness when it comes to like behaving around others, and you accept that and you're like, okay, well, they're a child. I'm just gonna redirect their behavior. It's not a personal attack against me. It's them acting crazy. That's how you need to handle it when someone does that to you in public. You know why they're doing it. They're jealous of you. They're trying to sabotage you. So why are you going to let them win? Why are you going to react the exact way they want you to react? No. You say, oh, I didn't think that was very funny. You know, keep a dead face. Be silent. That is honestly so powerful, because silence makes people very uncomfortable. So if someone says something at you, like they give you a backhanded compliment, even if no one else is around, they're just talking to you, they give you a backhanded compliment, they're being passive aggressive, like they're trying to humble you, and you can tell like they're trying to knock you down, knock down your self-worth. Give them a straight face. Like, who are you talking to? I don't know what you're talking about. I think you must be confused. Like, no, do not accept their insults. Do not accept their criticisms, because they're not coming from a place of love. When someone that loves you, when someone that actually cares about you is going to criticize something about you, they're going to tell you kindly. They're going to say, listen, Bessie, you know, when you did this, it bothered me. Or, you know, you behaved in this way. I don't think that was right. You know, there was this situation, like, this is how I feel about it. How do you feel about it? Okay, we disagree. You know, we can agree to disagree. But, you know, like, you have conversations about things. You don't be passive aggressive with them and try to embarrass them and knock them down. Like, it doesn't matter if there's other people around. It doesn't matter if you're by yourself, like with each other. There's a certain level of respect that you need to have for the people that you're with. So keep that in mind. And if someone's not giving you that, if you feel comfortable, like you want to talk about it, talk about it. But the easiest way to change someone else's behavior is to set your own boundaries, to change your behavior. Because when we change ourselves, other people change without us having to tell them anything. Because honestly, like, I don't know about you, but in the past, when I have just had conversations with people, they're not in the headspace to have an adult conversation. So they would typically get defensive or just apologize, but then keep doing the same behavior. Why? it's so much easier for me to just adjust my boundaries and change the way I show up, and that automatically changes their behavior. I didn't even have to tell them anything. So keep that in mind when you're moving forward. I'm done. I don't want to make this video too much longer. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know if you have any questions in the comments. Of course, if you want to work with me, all the links are in the description. I love you, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye. Mwah.